What happens when a Hollywood star, known for their composure and sincerity, faces a host who isn't afraid to ask provocative questions? This moment on The View became a true television sensation that no one could have predicted. Matt Damon, a beloved figure with an impeccable reputation, came to the show to promote his new film. But what started as a routine interview quickly turned into a tense confrontation that left the studio in silence and viewers in shock. So, what happened? Let's dive in. A sunny morning in New York. The View studio is buzzing with anticipation. The live audience, mostly women, eagerly awaits Matt Damon's appearance. His new film, an environmental thriller about the fight for clean water, has already sparked heated discussions in the press. Giant screens behind the set flash scenes from the trailer, Matt as a principled activist standing up to corrupt corporations. The audience erupts in applause when his name is announced. Cameras hum, operators check angles, and producers and headsets exchange quick instructions. Matt steps onto the stage to thunderous applause. His signature smile, warm, slightly shy, instantly wins over the crowd. He's dressed in a dark blue suit, the top button of his shirt undone for a touch of casual ease. He hugs each of the hosts, Whoopi Goldberg, Sarah Haynes, and Sunny Hostin, and takes a seat across from them. The audience cheers again as Whoopi, with her characteristic charisma, takes the floor. "Matt, welcome to The View," Whoopi says, adjusting her glasses. Her voice is friendly, but there's a faint spark in her eyes. "Your new film, it's something. Everyone's talking about it. Tell us, what inspired you?" Matt nods, his posture relaxed but attentive. "Thanks, Whoopi. This project is special to me. The issue of clean water isn't just a movie plot, it's a real problem affecting millions of people. I wanted to tell a story that makes people think." The audience murmurs in approval. Sarah Haynes smiles, nodding, while Sunny Hostin adds, "That's so true, Matt. Your film makes us all pay attention to things we often take for granted." The atmosphere feels warm, almost familial. But there's something subtle in the air, a tension that no one notices yet. The camera zooms in on Whoopi, who glances at her notes. Her smile sharpens slightly. "That's all great," Whoopi says, leaning back in her chair. "But you know, Matt, some people say you picked this topic because it's trendy. Environmentalism, activism, it's all the rage right now, isn't it? Or is this just a way for a Hollywood star to seem, how should I put it, more deep?" The question lands like a stone in still water. The audience freezes. Sarah Haynes coughs awkwardly, and Sunny Hostin shoots a quick glance at Whoopi, as if trying to figure out where she's going with this. Matt squints slightly, but his smile doesn't fade. "Trendy?" he repeats, his voice calm but tinged with faint surprise. "I wouldn't call the fight for clean water a trend. It's a matter of life and death for a lot of people." The audience claps, but the applause is less confident than before. A few whispers ripple through the crowd. "Wow, that was sharp." The camera catches a close-up of Matt, his fingers tightened slightly on the armrests of his chair. Whoopi, however, doesn't back down. "You know what I mean," she presses, her tone growing more insistent. "You star in blockbusters, play tough guys, and now suddenly you're an activist? Some say it's just a way to score points with the public. What do you say to that?" The studio tenses. The faint click of a producer's heels hurrying backstage is barely audible in the silence. Sarah Haynes tries to intervene, her voice soft but uncertain. "Whoopi, I think Matt genuinely believes in this cause. Right, Matt?" Matt nods, but his gaze remains fixed on Whoopi. "I do what I believe in," he says, his voice steady but with a steely edge. "I'm not playing at activism. I'm using my platform to talk about important things." The audience claps again, but Whoopi merely raises an eyebrow. Her smile now feels like a challenge. "Platform, huh?" she says, leaning forward, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "But don't you think some folks use projects like this to cover up, let's say, less noble parts of their career? Like, say, your ties to certain producers who, well, haven't always played by the rules?" The silence in the studio is deafening. The camera catches Sarah Haynes gasping, while Sunny Hostin purses her lips, as if wanting to speak but holding back. A producer in a headset whispers frantically into a mic, his face pale. The audience holds its breath. Someone pulls out a phone to record the moment. Seriously? Matt's voice is quiet, but there's a storm in it. You're accusing me of something without any proof? Whoopi shrugs, her tone still provocative. I'm just asking the questions people want answers to. You're a star, Matt. People want to know who you really are. The tension in the studio reaches a breaking point. Matt clenches his fists, his jaw tightens. The camera catches an operator quickly switching between close-ups of Matt and Whoopi. The audience whispers, someone covers their mouth in shock. Sarah Haynes makes another attempt to defuse the situation. I think we all appreciate your work, Matt. Maybe let's talk about the film? I heard there were some fascinating behind-the-scenes moments. But Whoopi cuts her off, her voice sharp as a blade. No, Sarah, let's be real. People want to know if Matt Damon is the hero he plays, or just another actor using big issues for PR. The words hit like a bomb. The studio freezes. Matt slowly rises from his chair, his movements calm but filled with resolve. The camera catches his eyes glinting, not with tears, but with anger mixed with dignity. You want to know who I am? His voice is low, each word like a hammer strike. I'm someone trying to make a difference. And you? You're using this platform to tear people down for ratings. The audience erupts. Some clap, others shout. Wow! While some sit in stunned silence. Whoopi opens her mouth to respond, but Matt doesn't give her a chance. He turns to the audience, his gaze burning. I came here to talk about clean water, about people who are suffering. But if you, Whoopi, want to turn this into a circus, I'm not playing along. He removes his mic and tosses it onto the chair. The sound of the mic clattering echoes like a gunshot. Matt heads for the exit, his steps confident but his shoulders tense. The audience bursts into chaotic applause mixed with shouts. The camera catches Whoopi trying to keep her composure, but her smile wavers. Sarah and Sunny exchange glances, unsure what to say. Producers backstage panic, shouting into headsets. Don't cut to commercial! Keep him in frame! The View studio is still buzzing with tension, as if the air is charged with electricity. Matt Damon stands at the edge of the stage, his mic abandoned on the chair, the click of his shoes on the floor echoing in the silence. The audience, torn between shock and admiration, can't take their eyes off him. Someone holds up a phone, recording every moment, and social media is already lighting up with clips tagged #Damon vs. Whoopi. Cameras hum, operators hurriedly switch between close-ups of Matt, Whoopi Goldberg, and the bewildered co-hosts, Sarah Haynes and Sunny Hostin. Whoopi, still seated at the table, tries to regain control. Her face holds her trademark confidence, but the corners of her mouth betray a slight tremor. She raises a hand, as if calling for calm, and addresses the audience with a forced smile. Well, folks, this is what happens when the conversation gets real, she says, her voice upbeat but tinged with strain. Matt, come on, come back, we're just talking. The audience responds with a mixed reaction. A few clap in support of Whoopi, but most sit in tense silence, waiting to see what Matt will do. Sarah Haynes, visibly uncomfortable, tries to defuse the situation. Matt, we all appreciate your passion for this project. Maybe tell us more about how you prepared for the role? Her voice wavers, her eyes pleading with Matt to return to his seat. But Matt pauses at the edge of the stage. He slowly turns, his gaze burning with anger but also something deeper, a vulnerability rarely seen in a Hollywood star. The camera zooms in on his face, his jaw is clenched, but his eyes glint, as if he's wrestling with the urge to say more. He takes a step back toward the center of the stage, and the audience holds its breath. You know, Whoopi, he begins, his voice low but clear as a bell. I didn't come here to play your games. I came to talk about people who don't have access to clean water. About kids getting sick because of it. About communities fighting to survive. And you? You're turning this into a circus for more views. The audience erupts in applause, louder than before. Someone shouts, Yes, Matt, tell her. The camera catches a slight flinch from Whoopi, but she quickly composes herself. She leans forward, her voice sharper. Matt, I'm just asking the questions people want to hear. You're not a saint, are you? You star in films, make millions, and now suddenly you're a world savior? Let's be honest, isn't this just PR? The words cut through the air like a knife. Sarah Haynes covers her mouth, and Sunny Hostin shoots Whoopi a look filled with concern. A producer backstage frantically gestures to the operators to keep Matt in frame. The audience murmurs, someone whispers. She went too far. Matt stands still, his fists clenched, but he doesn't break eye contact with Whoopi. PR? He repeats, his voice trembling with barely contained fury. You think I'm doing this for PR? I spent months talking to people who've lost everything because of contaminated water. I've seen them cry, Whoopi. And you're sitting here accusing me of being fake because you need a headline for your show? The studio explodes. Applause mixes with shouts, someone yells. Go, Matt! The camera catches tears in the eyes of one audience member, who clasps her hands as if praying. Sarah Haynes and Sunny Hostin sit frozen, unsure how to react. Producers backstage are in chaos. One shouts into a headset. What do we do? He's leaving! Whoopi, for the first time in the broadcast, looks rattled. She tries to regain control, her voice shaky as she says, Matt, I didn't mean to offend you. We're here to talk truth, you know? But Matt isn't listening. He turns to the audience, his gaze blazing with resolve. He raises a hand, as if addressing everyone in the studio and beyond the screens. I want you all to know one thing, he says, his voice like thunder but laced with deep humanity. There are people suffering right now. And if we waste time on these games instead of helping them, we all lose. I didn't come here to justify myself to people who want drama. I'm here to talk about what matters. He pauses, his eyes scanning the audience. The studio falls silent, even the hum of the camera seems quieter. Then Matt turns back to Whoopi, his voice softer but no less powerful. Whoopi, I respect your work. But if you want truth, start with yourself. Ask yourself why you're doing this, for the people or for the show? With that, he turns and walks toward the exit. His steps echo in the studio, and the door slams shut behind him. The camera catches Whoopi gripping the edge of the table, her composure crumbling. Sarah Haynes tries to say something, but her voice is lost in the audience's noise. Sunny Hostin shakes her head, as if unable to believe what just happened. The studio erupts in chaotic applause mixed with shouts and whispers. Someone yells, He's right! Others exchange glances, unsure what to think. The camera shows audience members pulling out phones to post videos online. Backstage, producers are in a frenzy. One shouts into a mic, Go to commercial! Now! But the director seems reluctant. The moment is too powerful to cut away. Whoopi, gathering herself, turns to the audience with a forced smile. Well, that was unexpected, she says, trying to laugh it off. But this is the view, we always speak the truth, right? Her words ring hollow. The audience responds tepidly, with only a few clapping. The camera catches Sarah Haynes whispering something to Sunny Hostin, who nods, her face full of empathy. The moment with Matt Damon is already going viral. Twitter lights up with posts. Matt Damon just destroyed Whoopi Goldberg on The View. That was epic. Hashtag Damon vs. Whoopi. Clips of his speech rack up thousands of views in minutes. In the comments, people share their thoughts. Some praise Matt for his principles, others think Whoopi was just doing her job. The conflict on The View became one of the most talked about TV events of the year. Headlines explode. Matt Damon storms off after Whoopi Goldberg's accusations. Did Whoopi go too far? Some criticize Matt for being too sensitive, but most admire his dignity and passion for his cause. His speech about clean water goes viral, and organizations fighting for environmental justice report a surge in donations post-broadcast. For Whoopi, the moment is a test. Some fans defend her, saying she was just asking tough questions, but many criticize her for getting too personal. In later episodes of The View, she avoids the topic, but the shadow of the moment lingers. What do you think? Was Matt Damon right to walk off? Did Whoopi Goldberg have a point with her questions? And can TV be a platform for real dialogue, not just drama? Share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to stay updated on stories like this.